You look like you like the hell wrong with you. Hell, you cuss. I know you want to go. Shut the fuck up. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey. I am Shawny.
And I'm Melly Mel. Welcome to the unscripted world of Boldly Untitled, the podcast where two untitled best friends of 25 years get real and raw about everything life throws their way.
Join us as we chat about relationships, friendships, sex, parenting, life struggles, and the wild journey of entrepreneurship. What's up? It is your girl Shawny.
And I'm Melly Mel.
And welcome to Boldly Untitled. Melly Mel, we're back again.
Yes, we are. Let's go.
Season 2. Okay, we still here. We still recording together.
Yep.
And we making it happen for y'all. Okay. So, holidays just passed. Do you guys have any family like traditions that you guys usually do for like the holidays and things like that? Mm-hmm. And you're Caribbean, so like, is there any different things like? Are you just extra Americanized now that Caribbeans do or something?
Nah. I can't think of nothing for real. No, you just do the regular
traditional stuff.
Yeah.
And you spent the holidays in Guyana this year. Mm-hmm. Did you see any difference from spending the holidays in Guyana than you did?
Well, Christmas Eve is a bigger thing over there than Christmas Day, and so Christmas Eve, the streets are like full. Everybody's out. It's like music, people vibing, walking the streets. So that was different.
Okay.
Yeah, Christmas Eve is a big thing. Lights and all type of.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys go out and enjoy the festivities?
We did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nice. So being with family for like the holidays, how was that? Was that like, especially being with like, you've never spent Christmas with them, have you? Was that your first time in Guyana for Christmas?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't my first time, but it was my first time in several years. The last time I spent Christmas with them, I think was like, I was like 17 or something.
Okay. Oh yeah, is that when you came back with that mosquito bite?
I don't know.
I think that was
mosquito bite. That's a part of the process.
I think that's when you came back with that ugly mosquito bite that I kept naming that girl.
Oh. Yeah. But yeah, honestly, it was great to see all of my family, a lot of family that I have not seen since like I was a child, like 7 years old. And now they're grown with their own kids, and we all have kids, and our kids are meeting for the first time. So it's like the next generation of cousins and stuff like that. And that was cool. It was a lot of us. But we had been there maybe a little less than a week before Christmas.
Okay.
So by Christmas Day, I was tapped out. I was tapped out. Like, just my introvertedness. It was too much.
Being around that many people all the time.
Every day we meet.
Because you don't have family in the States.
No, not really. Me, my sisters, just pretty, and then my little nuclear family. But then all the cousins.
You're not surrounded around a bunch of people.
No.
All the time.
And that thing had me drained. I was so done. I was like, I'm being in the room. I left and I went to the room and I started.
Yeah, when you think by me, you look like you were just completely done with life that day.
This is too much. I love them and it was great, and but like after a minute, I can't. The energy is getting sucked. I need to
reset and rejuvenate. I get it.
Yep.
When you're around when I'm around family, I notice so many the bulk of my family is in the South. So like my mom is from Mississippi. My dad's family a lot lives up here, but the bulk I think of them are in like Arkansas. I think they're like all over. But I also don't know my dad's side like that. Like I know the ones that are here, but I don't know the ones that are away. From my mom's side, we have family reunions, so I know my family down south, especially like her mom's side because that's where we stay at. It's on my grandma's side. But do you ever like observe like the different like traumas and the different things that they do? Like these people fucked up. Like they really fucking get along or something like.
Oh yeah.
It's like family beef and shit like that, and talking about each other behind their back and the slick shit. Like, oh, them motherfuckers don't get along. And it's like, I be like, I wonder if they noticed that, because I noticed that shit. Like, that shit crazy.
It'd be the family secrets for me. I'd be like, so we just gonna all keep this secret? And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
That's just crazy.
I I don't really like that, but I'm not gonna. I guess I'm just gonna conform, right? But yeah, there's definitely drama. But with my family, I don't think we necessarily do it. They don't do it outwardly with everybody. It be pockets of that. Yeah. Pockets. So if you in the right room at the right time, you'll get all the
all the juicy, like, oh shit. Especially because you're a litter, so you're not involved in none of it. Right. So you're a neutral party. So somebody may openly vent to you because they don't even know. Like, yeah, I can see that. So like, I remember one of my cousins had put on Facebook and was like, oh, we're breaking generational curses, we getting along. And once again, we live up north, so we don't see the stuff of like that's going on. And I guess it's because growing up, that family didn't interact with like the other families. Like, so my grandmother had, I think it's 11 of them. So I guess this one particular set of family didn't really talk to other people. And I don't really know. But the crazy part is everybody's got the same fucking road. Like, the road is named after my family.
Oh, wow.
Like, so, and they were like hanging out. They live in the same state and doing stuff like that. I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but it was just like crazy that, that if the older generations didn't really talk to them, it's passed down where the relationship. And my family, like, that down south is where I have family that we're all the same age. And so when I be like, it's a family reunion, I'm coming in, I'm gonna fly to New Orleans, they're gonna pick me up, we gonna party, and we're all close. I don't think there's gotten older. I don't think everybody's as close as they were when they were younger, but it's still one of those things where everybody's the same age. So how these people don't talk? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all had to go to the same school, y'all in the same district, y'all in the same, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happens in the families that like make this generational curse and layers of trauma? Somebody recently said to me that Black people like living in trauma.
I don't think we like it. I think it's our norm. So we just adopt.
Because like, I don't want to watch another slave movie.
Oh no, I'm done. I've been done that years ago.
Like, I don't watch Rosewood. I don't watch what's the Kunta Kinte Roots.
The last one I watched was 12 Years a Slave, I think.
And I don't think I've seen that.
That was the last one. Whenever that came out, that was the last one. Or was it the one with Nat Turner? One of them two. That was it. After that, no.
I don't have to continue.
Like, we get it, basically.
Living in it.
Yeah.
And it's Black History Month. I don't know when it's come out, if it's Black History Month, but we're recording is Black History Month. Like, I feel like we can celebrate the wins and not the past. Like, and these are things, like, and even with the layers of trauma, like, so, like, my dad's parents were born in 1907 and 1909. So, like, one of their traumas is, my granddad didn't talk about the South. So my father really didn't know, we don't know anything about his upbringing. Because he didn't talk about it. He would not let my dad go down south as a child. You're not meant for that. So that's like a layer of like generational, like, I'm not going to tell you why. We're not going to talk about it. Because that's something I feel like, I don't know, I can't say what other cultures do in their families of not talking, but I feel like Black families have a tendency to not talk about things and just say, and this is something I try to break with my child.
Yeah.
Of saying, you can't do that because I said so. Right. I want to give you the reason because I feel like you should understand why I don't think this is in your best interest. That's something because I said so.
Yeah, I've always hated that growing up. But I think, being able to break the cycle, you have to first recognize that there is a cycle to break.
True.
Right? And a lot of people are so in it, they don't even see, like, this is not okay. This is not a good
place.
Yeah. So they just, because it's their norm. It's like normal life. They grew up in this way, and so they just live life that way, and they raise their kids that way. It's just what it is a lot of times.
And when you see it, you think it's normal. eating patterns. We eat a certain way because this is what how our parents fed us. Like, I remember with me and my ex, I don't eat sugar on my grits. And I just feel like, why are we adding extra sweetness to this breakfast? And when he would fix my baby's food, he would fix it with sugar. I'm like, why are you doing that? But that's how his whole family eats their grits. And I'm just like, this is stupid. This is a savory food, not a sweet food. It's funny because I literally just asked, was it sugar or butter or salt, pepper? And it was kind of divided on what people like. But I was just, for me, it was like, why are we doing this? And he's like, that's how we eat it. I'm like, but why? That's how you eat it. That's not how she eat it. That's how she's doing. Why we giving her more sugar in the morning? It's just, once again, layers of different things of how we were raised, how we perceive things, and how we think we should do.
Right.
Like, I find myself a lot of habits of my parents I don't want to do. And I think I have great parents, or, my father, my mother, but there's things I don't want to do. Like, my parents are not loving and touching and feeling. So it's things like me. I will bust in my daughter's room and be like, give me a hug. Come here. Give me one right. Give me a kiss. Give me a hug. And she'd be like, and she's 17. And she's looking like, I got to get up and give this lady a hug again. But yes, I want you to know, before she gets out of my car every day, I tell her I love her. My mother, I don't ever remember her actually just saying, I love you, without me forcing her to say I love you. And it's usually in like a joking type way. But to me, that's generational curses. Like, my grandmother was the same way.
But you know what? Because my mom, similar. Like, I could probably count the amount of times like she has voluntarily just said I love you out of nowhere. It wasn't a normal everyday thing. For me in my house, it's daily. Somebody saying it to somebody daily, whether it's between me and my husband, me and the kids to the kids. Well, barely that, but but if when you're talking, I'm thinking about like why that is, and going all the way back, right? When you think about growing up in like slave days, you telling somebody you love them, and then they potentially getting ripped away is traumatic. Yeah. And so maybe part of it is, let me not invest too much, right? Because it could be ripped away. And that just flowed down the generations to where we don't necessarily love and hug on each other so hard. Just to protect.
Like a shield. I'm going to put myself in a box. Now, don't let me overlove you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just, this is not proven, right? This is just
that could be that. No
thinking.
That's a good thought process.
That would be part of it. I'm sure there's bigger other things too, but like, again, not realizing that's an issue, that's a problem. It's just our norm, so we don't feel the need to fix it. We just keep going with it. Just keep going with it. We're not gonna do that. We don't really do that. We don't love on each other. We don't hug on each other. We don't kiss. We don't say I love you. We just, and it's normal.
I think that shit is crazy. I think it's fucking crazy. And I didn't want that for my child. I want her to love on her child. And like, I remember when I told my daddy I was pregnant. Okay, traumatic for me. Okay, I'm over here. He was gonna be like, the hell wrong with you? He don't even cuss. I know he wasn't a girl. And so I told him, I told him I was pregnant. He's like, I know what you gonna tell me when you told me to sit down. Okay, well, and I remember the hug he gave me was like, it was like the worst hug. It was not an embrace, and I'm over here snotting, sobbing. But that was my dad. I never remember him just like holding me tight or like whatever. My mother may have held me tight, but that was more so if I was in a big state of trauma, of crying or whatever, because she's a mother, and you know what I'm saying. But like, I have to force my mother to hug me now. My dad, I will say, when I used to walk in his house or whatever, I give him a hug, give him a kiss or whatever like that, and that's just something we do in my family. When you walk in, you give everybody a hug. But my grandmother was the same way. My grandmother, I'd be like, Grandma, I love you. She'd be like, Grandma, I love you. Like, so I have a video of her saying, I love you, because I forced her. Grandma, I said, I love you. She's like, I love you too.
Yeah. But for me, I never got those words. And so now I need the words. And that's because I just wanted that. And I feel like other people want it too because I want it. Mm-hmm. So I try to give the word.
I like how you said that you got to identify. So, like, some facts I found was ways to change generational curses. Was you have to admit something's wrong. So most people can't identify a problem because they're just so used to it being their norm. And so you have to admit that you have a wrong. And it's funny because I was listening to another podcast and she was talking about triggers and traumas, and not necessarily to family, but just anything in life. Get professional help. Like, I've heard people be like, my parents fucked me up. And the shit I've been through, like, they are the root of my problems, and I am in therapy talking about them. Ooh. Change how you speak to yourself.
Facts.
So I will say I don't struggle with believing in myself a lot. I struggle with other things, but not like I feel like I'm the shit in a lot of areas of my life. So, like, I don't stay sitting in things. Change your habits. I think that's things I've done with my child, like change the habits of what. And me and my mother have great relationships, and I feel like as you get older too, you realize, nigga, you are not a fucking superhero. You fucked up too. Mm-hmm. Like, because your parents are your superheroes when they're little, but then as they get older, it's things that you do not like. Because listen, me and my mother live together now. Living with my mother as a grown up and living with my mother as a child is totally different. I realize there's a lot of things I do not like about her and her character, or not, I'm not gonna say her character, but a lot of things that she do, and I'd be like, why are you doing that? That's not necessary. And because they're your parent, they don't want you to say anything or call them out. Change your circle. And just because people are family doesn't mean you gotta hang around them. Protect you by all means necessary. Be willing to let go. That is a very big one. I was talking to another friend, and it's crazy that her and her sister are a couple years apart, and they were raised in the same house, same parents, and they have two totally different perceptions of how they were raised. Mm-hmm. And one let it go. I guess she let it go. The other is like it's her struggle for life. And me and my sister, we have though we are 14 years apart, so our parenting was different. We have the same mother. We have total different perceptions of life. Mm-hmm. And for me, I let things go. I think my sister held on to things, and that's why her and my mother may not have the best of relationships. They're not beefing, but they're not me and my mother. Every day when I leave work or whatever, I call my mom and talk to her my whole way home, and I've always been that person who talks to my mother every day. I try to talk to her less because she lives in the same house, and because when I get there, she's there and she's talking to me. But thank God she doesn't watch the episode.
I love that. I used to always be like, not necessarily jealous, but like, that's so cool. Growing up, seeing how you and your mom was like besties, and you would tell her everything. Tell my mama none. Tell my mama nothing. Okay, she just didn't open the communication for me to feel comfortable telling her nothing.
Do you think your sisters and your mother have a better relationship?
Way better.
They talk
way better. I'd be like, what? Oh,
but I can tell by when your mama texts me some foolishness like, who the fuck is teaching her this shit?
What? Who you talking about?
When your mama be on some hood rat text messages and stuff, I be like, God, who taught you this? Why do you know this?
Yeah, they talk. I think my sister talked to her like every day. Like she had access to, like, when she was living in a different state, she had access to her Ring doorbell, all type of stuff. And I'm like, no, that is not a thing between us. So it's just totally different. Me and my sister are also 13 and 15 years apart. So and then I didn't grow up with my dad, but they grew up with their dad and their mom together. Totally different dynamic.
Like, they really have great relationships with both their parents. Yeah. Like, you see them randomly, like, this is my homie, this is my, I'm like,
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, totally different dynamic. So,
do you think you've changed your changing that cycle with your children, of like the relationship building?
Oh, absolutely. I think me and my husband are on the same page with a lot of things when it comes to them. And he does stuff too that I appreciate. Like, he would be like, every night, he would be like, go say goodnight to your mom, no matter where I was in the house. So now, they don't go to bed. They got to find me to say goodnight, give me a hug and a kiss.
I love that.
Every single night. And that prolongs bedtime because now it's her. It's three of them. Okay. So that all three, they come in.
Yeah, I'm on the phone with you at bedtime. I'm like, oh my, what the fuck is that thing over there?
They bombarded me, right?
And then I got a bunch of questions before they can go to bed.
Of course. But like, that is now, like what you were talking about, habits. That's a habit that he enforced. And I love that.
I recently asked my daughter, I asked her, like, if someone asked you to describe your relationship with your mother, what would you say? And that was just me wanting to know, like, how she, you know, perceives our relationship. Because I think we are great. I think we have a great relationship. I think that's my homie. It's not where we have a relationship that she's disrespectful to me or anything, you know. Because some people try to make their kids their friends, and it's like a borderline disrespect. I don't have those issues. She doesn't disrespect me. Now, at one time I asked her, what's the words of Doja Cat song? And she looked me dead in my eyes and said, it says, bitch, I said, well, I said, did you just say bitch? Well, you asked me the words. I think that was like the highlight of her life at that moment, to just do that. And we went to Doja Cat concert, and she said on the other end, I said on the other, because I knew one of those bitches running out your mouth. Even though I really don't understand the whole thing with curse words and why they're bad words, but that's a whole other story. And she was like, they just asked this question, but I didn't answer because I didn't feel like talking. Okay, we're answering the question now.
Right.
She was like, I would say she's like my best friend. I tell her just about everything. And of course, we have another mother-daughter relationship, so she's not going to tell me everything. Yeah. And I didn't tell my mother everything. But she knew enough of my life. And she was like, and I feel like, you know, I can go to her for anything. She's supportive. I feel like you're supportive. And, you know, I think she's really cool. I was like,
that's cool. Love that. I love that. I feel
like I did a good job, you know, especially when it's coming to the end.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of, like, she doesn't come out of her room. She doesn't come out of the room. But I can get her to come out of her room and watch movies with me and still want to spend time with me. Like, even being here today, she wanted to be here today. Like, for this. Like, because she's just, we have that great of a relationship. I'm like, I looked at her the other day, I said, do you know, this time next year, if we wanted to, we could be on a beach, drinking together, turns up at a resort, on an ice. You'll be 18.
Yes.
You got a long time to go, baby. You could probably be too old to drink.
Ain't no too old to drink. My grandma was 100 plus, still drinking.
She was thirsty. My grandma was thirsty.
Anyway, but I love that, and I feel like I'm doing a decent job too, because the things that I wish I could tell my mom or whatever, my son is telling me stuff. So he voluntarily.
Listen, I was excited about the voluntary of information that he just told you,
because I've been nagging him for a while, a couple years now. Like, so do you like anybody? You know, you got a girlfriend, like, you know. And so the other day he was like, okay, I have to tell you something. I'm like, oh, okay, what's up? I like somebody. Come, let's talk about it. And he was just really open and just, you know, telling me about how, oh, she's beautiful and all this stuff. So I am just very proud that I have created the safe space for him to be able to do that. And I hope that it carries through with the other two younger ones, especially my daughter. But that's always something that I always knew I wanted.
Is that relationship, that open door. Like, I never want my child, I feel you, because I never felt like with my parents I couldn't go to them, because I feel like I had a really good relationship with both my parents. Of course, my mother was not as, because I told both my parents everything, for the most part. I may not have told my father as much of the dude aspects of what I was going through with dudes, but I would eventually tell him or whatever the case may be. But I also felt protective, like, this is my daddy. So if you know about my daddy or my daddy know about you, you're important to me. So that was why that is protective. It's funny because my daughter's the same way. And her father don't have the same relationship as me and my father. But she does not want her father to know she has a boyfriend. She was like, I was like, well, I'm telling him that you going to 2 proms. She's like, tell him with a friend. Don't say with a boyfriend. Girl, why am I okay to know, but he not okay to know? So that's all right. It's all right. But there's that protection of, I don't want my father, I'm his daughter, I don't want him to know. And I felt the same way. So I get it. And it says the last one was to commit to the journey. You got to commit to the journey of changing things in your life. Like, if you see it's the issue, if you see a thing, if you see it's, and it's, what's the part about it is, you could be doing shit and not even realize you're doing it. You could be being your parent and not even realize you were fucking doing it.
Yeah, that's just, the self-awareness part is very important.
I stopped myself the other day with report card time. And once again, it's another dumbass grade, a dumbass class.
God.
But her grade, but she has 3.8 overall. And once again, the dumbass class, the grade was low. Why the fuck are we here again? Why are we here with this dumbass class? Lowering your fucking GPA. Like, and I caught myself like, all her core classes are A's and B's. Like, this class don't even, the weight of this class don't even mean shit for real. Pull it back. Don't take from it. Don't take from what is congratulate. Like, I literally had to mentally coach myself through the shit. And it was one of those things too, because I've been yelling every week, like, why the fuck is this grade not right? I don't know. Oh no. But I didn't want to be what my mother is. My mother has a very bad habit of downplaying something, or you can be doing something great and the compliment comes after something negative. Like, I'm gonna give an example. This is not even a real example, but it would be something like, if I say I just lost 50 pounds or something, she'd be like, well, if you would have started before that, just imagine how much weight you would have lost then. But you know, you look good. That's the type of shit it'd be like, well, goddamn, man.
Yeah.
And I try not to be that.
Yeah.
With my child. I will say I struggle in areas of that with her gaining weight. And I keep trying to pull back from it, but for me it's a health thing, because so many of my cousins' children have juvenile diabetes. And I'm trying to combat that, but I don't know a way as a parent to not be rude about it, because my grandma called me fat all the time. My mama would say, things, and what my daddy used to be like, you know what you need? You need to just go walking. And I'd be like, well, daddy, we're talking about the fucking sun. So, yeah, you eat a diabetic diet, you'll lose some weight. Then I didn't ask you that. So these are things I'm trying to, but I think that's one of those things of, it's generational. My granny told my aunts, like, I got 2 fat daughters.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's on both sides. It's something that I'm trying not to do, but I'm struggling through. And I think she's very dismissive of it. So I try to leave it alone, but now we're prom dress shopping. And she's this tall. Her mama's short. She's short her. And we're struggling with the prom dresses. And I couldn't help myself. Like, I've been telling you that you should probably start trying to get some of this weight off you, so you're not limited on prom dresses. Because she has a smaller top, but her bottom half is big. Her booty is huge. And we're struggling to get the style of dresses that she may want or like because of her size. So, well, what do you do with,
yeah.
Like, how do you even find a tactful way to not be your parents?
Yeah. I don't know, because I struggle with stuff too in terms of my delivery, because I'm so like raw. It's hard for me to, sandwich shit. And so it's usually after the fact that I'll be like, oh wait, I didn't have to say it that way. But it's already out. It's already been done. So is, for me, I think it's a matter of thinking before I speak and coming up with the words and keeping it positive. So maybe there's a way for you to tell her without saying lose weight. Maybe it's eat this. Like, I don't know.
I try that approach really is just like changing what is eaten in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, because of the extra people in the house that we have, it's really hard to make, the meals that we need to eat. And because of the journey that I'm about to go on, where I'm about to go through a weight loss program, I want to take her on this journey with me. You know what I'm saying? And encourage her to, go with it. What are some things that you found I'm caught myself being my parent?
I don't know. I feel like I'm so different from my mom. I think sometimes I can be a little cold. Like, you know how you're like, oh, come hug me. Mm-hmm. I'm not always like that. I just sometimes feel like, yo, don't touch me. One time I was trying to do something and my daughter came and tried to hug me and I kind of gently nudged her out the way. Like, kind of moved her out the way. To this day, remember that time I tried to hug you and you pushed me away? Yeah. Yeah. And it's not that I don't love her.
But at that moment,
I'm in the kitchen, get out of here, but that stuff, it's a lot. And so I feel like sometimes, because my mom wasn't that touchy-feely type of parent either.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes I'm not that either. And it's like, okay, let me, that's why I love the whole kind of go say goodnight to mom, because it just kind of reinforces and almost forces them to be that, forces me to be that, because I'd be like, good night, and I don't need to hug you. So I think that would be the biggest thing that I feel like I'll be doing that my mom does.
And that's crazy because you are a cuddler though. But I guess you want to cuddle when you want to cuddle.
On my terms, when it's time to cuddle. When I'm cooking dinner, it's not time to cuddle. Isn't what I'm saying?
Oh! Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's just being aware. I think that's the most part of being aware to the different generational curses that maybe how we make us how we move. And I think that those things of those generational curses carry on in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's your friendships, whether it's your romantic relationships, with your relationship with your kids, your whoever. Being aware of what is going on is important. And we literally be fucking each other up from generation to generation to generation with this stuff. I remember my aunt told me that she thinks my father went so hard in everything that he did because my grandfather didn't show him enough faith in believing and he can do anything.
Mm.
And my father never cut grass a day in his life,
mm-hmm.
because my grandfather said he wasn't good enough to cut his grass, but he wanted to cut it, type situation.
Oh wow,
that's crazy.
Wow.
So to my daddy died never cutting grass a day in his life, 70 something years old. He hired someone to cut grass, never once pushed a lawnmower.
This is so hard. It's such a challenge. Because a simple one sentence can
fuck somebody up for life.
For life.
I don't cut because the teacher told me that I wasn't a good cutter. I hate cutting things.
Wait, what?
I do not like cutting things because we were cutting out something for some school or something, and she told me, she was like, "Oh, you're not a good cutter."
Damn teachers. Them teachers need to. Remember we had our teacher talking about, I hope you choke and all this stuff she used to be saying. She was out of pocket a lot.
She probably was old and needed to retire.
Yeah. That's a whole nother episode. But like,
what's the episode called? Fuck the teacher?
Child influence or influence on
what teacher we can bring on? We can bring on your sister. She's a teacher.
Yeah. She's an excellent teacher though. She's not like them BS teachers. She legit, yeah. Super legit.
And it's crazy because I would have never seen her working with kids.
Really?
Yeah, no. You know.
I don't know.
The other one definitely shouldn't be around kids.
Nah.
But that one is really good with the kids and everything. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Yeah. So what is your bold recommendation this week?
Get on a cruise ship. So I got married on a cruise. And that was both of our
best cruise I have ever been on. I've never been so fucking drunk since.
That was both of our first cruise. And a lot of our families and friends' first cruise. To the point now, his mom had been on several cruises. Yes. And it's because I was like, hold on. Was our cruise your first cruise? She was like, yes. Thank you. Wow. Yes. And I was like, that's awesome. I was like, we was a blessing to your mom, babe. She has an outlet because that lady worked hard. She worked to the bone. So the fact that she found a way to relax, I love her.
I will say, if you all have a hard time of like turning off when you go on vacation, cruise is probably the best vacation because you don't have to pay for the internet package. You can't get no phone calls when that boat is moving. Like, it is the best way to just touch down and unwind. Like, when she's on a cruise, I'd be like, oh, I'm on a FaceTime coming in. What island are they on? Like, you're going to be like some jealous shit. Like, bitch, get the fuck off my line. You can see that sand in the water. That's a good recommendation, is a cruise.
Cruises are great. And, you know, the different places, islands you go to or whatnot, so phenomenal. But one that sticks out to me and my husband is like Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was so good.
Really?
Yeah, it was just the vibe, the people, the food. We really like it.
That's funny because me and my family were just talking about, like, we did a Vegas trip a few years ago, and she was like, we need another trip, and I was like, well, let's do Puerto Rico because everybody doesn't need a passport to go to Puerto Rico. So we're talking about doing Puerto Rico in 2025.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my recommendation.
My big recommendation for this week is to date yourself. That is something I'm big on trying to do this year. It's like, I want to, even if it's just going to the bar and having dinner with yourself at the bar, I thought it's a great way to meet people too, is to date yourself. And just be in the element and just, you know, talk to people at the bar and get outside of the norm of just feeling like you can't do it unless you have somebody with you.
Yes.
Because you're going to miss a lot of opportunities waiting for somebody else.
Yeah.
Because I cancel some shit on somebody in a minute and not even think twice about it. So I'm dating myself. Like, I'm not waiting for anybody to do anything. Like, I don't have a ton of friends in my area. I have people I could definitely call and go somewhere, but I don't have a lot of core friends. Those people that I call, they typically already out somewhere with somebody else. If it's not pre-planned, like, it'd be like, I don't have any last minute. So if I want to go somewhere, do something, that's my thing. So you probably won't hear for a few months of how my dating myself is going, but I'm going to like really work on the dating myself. Movies, dinner, self-care. I think it's going to be very healthy for me.
I love that. I'm with it. You know, my husband, he thinks it's weird for you to go to a restaurant and sit down and eat dinner by yourself.
You do it all the time.
I know. That's one of my favorite pastimes. Go to a nice restaurant. Absolutely. And I don't need nobody. I'm good. But he's just so, I'm like, you don't like yourself? What's up? What is that about? Like, you don't like spending time by yourself? It just feels like it's weird, but I think it's great.
But you can shut down. Your husband's a talker. But he's also funny. So I feel like if he went and sat down at a bar, he could talk to everybody at the bar and have a great time.
I ain't trying to talk to nobody.
No, because you'll call me.
Yeah. Table, not no bar. Because don't talk to me.
See, I want to sit at the bar. I want to sit at the bar. But the times I have gone out to eat, I've never sat at the bar by myself. I always go to, but I'm also single too. That's also part of the plot.
Yeah.
That's part of the plot.
You go to the bars in like rich neighborhoods or like the conference going on where you know a lot of wealthy men are going to be there.
You know, at all the conferences in Metro Detroit in 2024, baby. Yes. If your hotel has a conference, I'm sitting there. Baby, and I'm not bringing anybody else because I don't need nobody as the competition. And it's not even that I feel like it's competition. I just don't need no distraction, and you feel like you can't walk up to me and approach me because somebody's talking to me. I'm gonna be free. This is this week's plug. Okay, this is this week's plug. Okay, just so we're clear. Bold question of the day.
Oh Lord!
Time for our bold question segment. Okay.
Okay.
What is your latest guilty pleasure?
You go first.
This is a guilty pleasure I'm really trying to fucking break. Okay. I'm not even a big chocolate person. I'm not kind of obsessed with fucking Hostess cupcakes.
Oh my God. We were just talking about eating.
I know. I have limited myself to sweets only on weekends.
Okay.
So that's like something that I've been doing to like transition for like getting ready for the weight loss program that I'm going to be a part of, and it's just eat because I'm pre-diabetic as well. So that's part of that. Like I actually have not had one this year, but that has like been like something that I have been obsessed, and like it's mentally hard for me to walk past this shit when I go in a gas station and not grab a Hostess cupcake. Because another guilty pleasure is chips. So if I'm gonna pick one, I'm gonna pick fuck chips. That's like my favorite snack of all times. I feel like it's a whole meal is to get a bag of chips. That's probably a very big guilty pleasure too.
Yeah, I definitely eat a 99-cent bag of cheese.
They're not 99-cent anymore.
Well, you know what I mean.
But I didn't have it started in high school because we would be on the way to school and stop at a gas station and grab a bag of chips.
Yeah.
And like that's breakfast. We're gonna eat the bag of chips like the school like.
That's terrible.
It's a fucking habit that we created and we can't fucking break. This shit is crazy. Like I can't get whenever I get gas, I get a bag of chips. This shit is insane to me.
Same. Same. So we buy those snack boxes, and it comes with different assortments. And to the point where now we're doing it online custom because
that's a thing.
Yeah. So we go in and we pick. We know what everybody like. We pick the bags that we like. So of course I'm getting cheese puffs and whatever. We had just got the box like that day or the day before, and when we was in, Mama and I got me a 99-cent bag of cheese puffs. He's like, "We just got a whole box of those." I'm like, "Them kids gonna fuck that up. It's for me. Leave alone."
So, yeah, that is definitely a good. And that's I don't know if it's a bad habit, guilty pleasure. It's something I love. Like
I'm kind of with you on that. And you know what else I've been on? I blame my husband because we would go Five Below. Now it's a thing. He raised the airheads.
Well, I want a good one. I want when you tap it or something like that, and it like pops and it like puffs up because they're supposed to puff or something.
No.
Oh,
the airheads. That's just. I don't know what that is.
It's the thing. Like when technically airheads are like supposed to be done like this, and it like goes to the bottom and it puffs. I'll show you a TikTok on it in a minute.
Okay, but so they come in. It's a long.
Yes. Go keep going with your airhead. It's supposed to puff up.
We gonna talk about
that's why it's called an airhead.
We don't talk about that because that's a new development. If you know what you're talking about. But he would go and find the box and get all the watermelons out of the box. So now it's a thing. So now everybody try to get their flavor. So I'm blue. I think my son likes orange. I think the other one likes, I don't know why. I don't know. So now it's a thing. Yeah, exactly. So now for my birthday that passed recently, that man got me a big airhead box of all blue.
Oh, so sweet.
So now it stays on my night.
What kind of watermelon? Huh? Green? What kind of pack of watermelon? Green. I'm trying to figure out which one is my favorite. I think I like blue, so I think that's my favorite.
Yeah. Too. So now I sit there in my nightstand. So whenever I just whoop, whoop, Nice blue airhead wrappers on. Yeah.
That's your guilty pleasure? Mm-hmm. Is your nightstand full of airheads? Mm-hmm. See, I don't even buy sugar at home because... No, that's not true. Because this is not turning a fat segment. Listen, Sam's Club got these Cinnabons, right? That taste better or just like Cinnabon.
Oh, really?
They got these Cinnabon. They are in the bakery section. Mm. They have like icing on them. You get $8 for $8.
You gotta tell me about that.
Baby, you will not miss Cinnabon. Okay? Mm. So good. But because I have been giving up sugar and I only eat sugar on the weekend, I cheated the other day and had one during the week and could not eat it. Mm. It was too sweet. Mm. So my sugar cravings are coming down because, and I already don't really drink sweet drinks. I only drink water for the most part. Maybe some lemonade, but it hurts my stomach, or maybe some sweet tea, and I seem to not be finishing those because I'm not having the sugar all the time. So, nice. So yeah.
Love that.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we have a listener letter this week. We do. We have a listener letter. All right. We love the listener letters. Keep sending them in. Y'all heard our call last season. Appreciate that. Send listener letters. Okay. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
I don't have my glasses, so I have to bring this closer. 40 is 40 in. Hey ladies, I just had to reach out to you because I've been listening to your podcast and I love it. I feel like you two could help me with this. So here's the deal. I've been dating this guy for about 6 months now and things started off amazing. He's charming, funny, and we have so much in common. But lately, I've been feeling like something's off. You know, that gut feeling you get when something just doesn't sit right? Well, that's been happening more and more frequently with him. He's been canceling plans last minute, seems distant, when we're together, and sometimes I catch him being a little too friendly with other girls. I've tried talking to him about it, but he always brushes it off like it's no big deal. I'm torn because I really care about him, but I also don't want to ignore these red flags. Should I confront him again, or am I just overthinking things? I don't want to seem needy or insecure, but I also don't want to be taken for granted. Help a girl out. What should I do? Thanks a million. Confused cutie.
Go ahead, trust your gut.
Trust your guts. I'm very big on, listen, I went on a date this year and it just did not, it wasn't even a date, it was a meet and greet. And by the end of that meet and greet, I was like, nah, not like that nigga. Mm. Don't like him. It was something about him. I started really honing in on the last several days of even communicating with him, like, this nigga got a girlfriend. Mm. You only talk to me when you in a car.
Yeah, trust that gut. That inkling, that doubt, that little feeling.
And it says dating, so it doesn't say that they're actually in a relationship. As I'm looking back on this, it says I've been dating. Mm-hmm. Let me see you guys are actually together. So if you feel that way, you can continue to date him if you want to, like, just have somebody to have fun with, but start dating other people.
Yeah.
Because if you're not focused on what he's doing, he'll see that. And if he really wants to make it better to be with you, then he'll step his game up like, oh, no, she tuning out. Because maybe he's weighing his options and that's why he's not fully vested in you. Like, let me continue to weigh my options. You're dating. You're not in a relationship. You're not.
Yeah, but she also said when they're together, he seems distant.
Maybe he's not interested anymore.
He's just probably just not. You're not the one.
Very true. Very true.
So I don't. And I feel like if you're into him and he's not really reciprocating, that's a setup for toxicity.
Yeah. So at this point, would you really want to be with somebody like that?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, not.
Yeah.
Pouring into you, because listen, those beginning dating months for me are very important for you to make me feel like I'm the only person in the fucking world. Mm-hmm. Like the first couple, weeks you may get away with, whatever. But once we start seriously dating on a regular basis, even when we're not together, you got to make me feel like you are really pursuing me and courting me and want to move forward in something.
Right.
Like even on these dating apps, I just saw somebody that he was like, I don't want marriage. So I'm just like, why are we talking? I eventually want to be married. It'd be different if I didn't want to be married, but you let me know of it. So why would I proceed for it as a big ass red flag? No, nigga. Yeah. I actually is one who sent me his pictures. He has Shirley Temple Cross. Dog, 2024 is fucking trash with this dating world. it's okay, I manifested it. God is about to send me my husband. So I'm not even going to swipe left or right because he's just going to appear out of nowhere. Probably at that bar I'll be sitting at one of them engineering or doctor conferences.
There you go.
Yeah, so don't be confused. Move on.
Yeah. It's plenty of fish in the sea, child. You know, you can't get stuck on one if that's not ideal. Like, if you're not happy, like, if this is not doing it for you, girl, leave that so you can make room for what is for you. That's it. I don't have a whole lot to say about that. This is just...
At 40, I'm not playing games. Like, once again, I literally left that date and I was like, I'm good. Yeah. He called me like, did you make it to work? I said, yeah. That was in the conversation. Didn't communicate with him next day. He didn't communicate with me. Following day after that, he reached out. I was very one-wordish. Mm-hmm. That's probably my toxic trait. I'm going to work on that, though. I'm going to stop just ghosting. I'm going to tell people, like, yeah, this doesn't work for me. Because I feel like that is something. Yeah, so. All right. Anything to take away with this?
Ooh, we touched on a lot of stuff. I think work on your self-awareness so you're not bringing traumas that have been passed down into your offspring. Let it stop with you. But before you can do that, you got to recognize what's going on.
Be aware. Like, I spent, like, not dating, I feel like I spent the last 4 years of trying to be aware of me and things in my life. And I feel like it's making me more in tune with me. And even my body and my health and everything else, just in tune.
Yeah, I love that. Like, stepping back. And that could mean stepping back from your family.
Yeah.
To just breathe and, like, get to know who you are, what you need. And recognize and reflect, you know.
Yeah. I think that's a good takeaway. I don't need to say anything else.
All right, well, let's wrap that shit up. Well,
that is another episode of Boldly Untitled. Catch us on Facebook at Boldly Untitled Podcast. Catch us on Instagram at Boldly _Podcast
Boldly Untitled. We fucked this up.
Oh, God. Clearly, y'all not going to ever find us on Instagram with the way we're fucking going. At Boldly _Untitled. There we go. And you can watch the episodes on YouTube at Boldly Untitled Podcast. Until next week, we'll see you then. Do you have a topic or question for Melly Mel and Shawny? Well, email us at boldlyuntitledpodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Boldly _Untitled _ on Facebook at Boldly Untitled Podcast, and on YouTube at Boldly Untitled Podcast.